días, buenas tardes. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. So Mary and I are have been endeavoring into this really pilot research study on transnational exploration of mindfulness-based childbirth and parenting, MBCP training in two sites, Mari in Puerto Rico and Mariela in Costa Rica. And Larissa Duncan is our anchor at UW Madison, but we are the ones doing the work on the ground. Next slide, please. So our study, Mary and I, were exposed to MBCP training a year and a half ago, and I have been, and in different ways before we even met in our work, either as a professor or as a doula and a community-based researcher myself, and went through the training of MBCP to become trained a trainer, and we noticed. And we have been noticed before that mindfulness trainings have become something that, even though there is a vast quantity of evidence of the benefits that pregnant people can have, and particularly women, because most of the studies have been done in women, have in the outcomes for pregnancy and the way that they themselves embody the process of being pregnant and postpartum, there is a huge gap in understanding on how these type of techniques, practices can be used to improve the life and the well-being of pregnant women in other settings that are not white and Western and English speaking. So, and for us, it's an equity issue, particularly because BIPOC people in the United States and people in the global South, there is severe maternal and child health disparities that happened. So we decided to do this compare and contrast study in two populations in Costa Rica and Puerto Rico that, although both of them are Latin American context, they're really different geopolitically wise. And that's really important. The position that Puerto Rico has with the United States and Costa Rica as a sovereign country. So I think that's, we wanted to see how can we test the linguistic acceptability of MBC program into 12 pregnant women in Puerto Rico and Costa Rica, and how to embody the practice of reflexivity and how the process of facilitating these sessions affects the researchers and the relationship with the training. And we wanted to add this inner process because with anything related with contemplation and mindfulness, reflexivity and our own practitioner practice is extremely important, and it is a qualifying activity. And also because we wanted to see how this process also changes internally and how our own biases, our own prejudices, our own beliefs affect the way that we train people that is going through their perinatal journey. Next.
Okay, well, here is the study timeline, and you can see on the right what we plan to do and how the timing. And initially we planned to submit the study for IRB review and complete the training and to teach this course in fall 2023. However, despite we did complete the training, we had some delays in the IRB process, and therefore it impacted the subsequent activities of the studies. Well, what happened? It is important and essential to highlight that we have been working in other products and that we have been contributing and before submitting, and this can be including the Spanish, the proofreading of the Spanish book, the Spanish book of the program, And this is very, well, highly relevant to the implementation of this study in Latino populations. And in addition to the proofreading and contributing in the proofreading of the book, and which was published in October 2023, I also recorded some meditations that are used in the study, and these meditations are in Spanish and will be suitable for Puerto Rican population and other populations, I think. And we also, in February, we signed an agreement with the Mindfulness-Based Parenting Foundation to translate the instructor's manual into Spanish. And we completed that process already. And in February, we obtained the IRB approval for Puerto Rico. So one step is completed, and we are having some expecting to have the IRB approved in Costa Rica. Mariela will be updating that right now, and what in Wisconsin also. So Mariela, can you provide please update?
Yeah, one of the things that is interesting about this particular study is that the IRB in Wisconsin is, we really wanted to be intentional, even with how the research was going to be at the academic level. And in order, we wanted to be the results be owned by Costa Rican government or universities and Puerto Rico government or university, the one that Mary is the faculty of. And that has cost us the investment of doing everything 3 times and in 2 languages. And in my case in Costa Rica, I needed to become a Costa Rican researcher when I didn't complete my PhD in Costa Rica. That was almost a process of 4 months just to do the whole certification of myself as a Costa Rican researcher, under the wings of one of a professor here that she's also part of the research. So I think, when we are when we're talking with international or global context, coming from a U.S. institution, for us this has been a huge learning curve to see the intentionality and how we partner with other universities and with other communities, and also all the political and bureaucratic steps that a researcher needs to do in order to do a research in a site that is outside of their country. So part of it has been some of the delays that Mary was mentioning, and I think that to go a little deeper on that is the fact that we needed to start from zero a lot of the work, everything in Spanish, right? That wasn't there before. So that the foundation had been wanting to translate the book and to have a lot of the trainings in Spanish for many years, but they hadn't had the capacity nor had the focus to invest on this area for multiple reasons. So I think that it has been a really beneficial opportunity for them to partner with us to be able to do that. And also to understand that there's only like a few trainers who speak Spanish, who one of them is from Spain, which are different contexts in Latin America. So we will be the first to train the trainers in Latin America. So I think that also that has, when we look at our timeline, probably we're a little naive thinking like we're going to be able to do all this without realizing that there was a huge timeline before the timeline. And I think that now that many of those things are already out of the way, and now looking for approval in Costa Rica and a seat approval of UW IRB office, we will be able to move forward. I will not say quickly, but we're going to be able to move forward on the actual timeline that we proposed. Next. And I think that I just mentioned, what this slide says. And one of the things that is for two things, that how Mary and I have been able to work, in 2 different contexts with 2 different sets of rules in each university, including UW-Madison, and for us to start now looking at classes, hopefully by the summer, and start collecting the data that will help us do the adaptation of the MBCP and understand what culturally nuances are important for us to take into account and inform the foundation of changes that they may do in their curricula. For us to see, would this MBCP training as it stands right now be a program that would be feasible within Puerto Rican and Costa Rican populations? So I think that for us, these type of questions are really important to dig in. And in the reflective piece of our goals and objectives. And I think there's one more. Yeah, and we thank that the foundation, because they have provided us, this is been a mutual beneficent relationship. The University of Ponce, obviously for W for the funds that we have not used any. we have used personal, like our own, and since we have not been doing that work per se, that was the work per se that would require that for the utilities. But we know that the money is there, and that will allow us to to implement it.